Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I just want to start off by saying sorry if you can hear like the wind or birds or anything throughout this video. I have both my windows open today because it is very hot. Like, it's been really hot the last couple of days here, and yeah, my room gets a lot of sunlight, but yeah, I really need the windows open, otherwise I am gonna just be a sweaty mess, and no one wants to see that. Happy New Year, guys. I haven't actually said Happy New Year's to you guys, and it feels so weird that 2021 is over and now we're in another year. Obviously, I have already put up one video this year. I put up my wedding vlog, which was a great start to the year, but these next few videos are probably going to be quite predictable because they have been my first few videos the last few years that I have been on YouTube. But as you guys can see by the title of this video, I wanted to sit down today and just chat with you guys about everything that I kind of achieved in 2021 and everything I am hoping to achieve in 2022, because I think, to be honest, 2022 is the year that I'm most looking forward to. Like, I think a lot of really cool things are going to happen this year, and a lot of big changes are going to happen this year that I am so excited for. So yeah, if you guys want to hear all about my goals and my reflections, then just keep watching. So I have written everything down on my phone that I want to chat to you guys about, so if I am looking down at my phone and not specifically looking at the camera, then that is why. So the first thing I wanted to chat with you guys about in like my kind of like my achievements is that I got a new job. So at the end of January of 2021, I quit my job at the coffee club. I don't know if I ever really shared why I quit, but if I didn't, I'll tell you guys now. I had been at the coffee club for 2 years, and I kind of progressed very quickly in that job. Like, I started off on the floor just serving people, clearing tables, all that good stuff, running food, running drinks, and then after about 6 months of being there, I learned how to make all of the cold drinks. And then after a year of being there, I learned how to make coffee, and by the end of 2020 I was one of the like main baristas, and I kind of had been a barista there for like a whole year. I was also training people, but my boss wouldn't put me on manager because she knew that as soon as Phil and I got married, I was going to leave and move to Auckland. So yeah, she didn't want to put me on manager because I would have had to stay longer than was planned. So I kind of got to a point where I couldn't really grow anymore, and so I felt it was time to move on. I am someone in my job who really needs to be able to grow. I can't just like stay stagnant the whole time, and yeah, I just kind of felt like I'd learned everything I could learn basically, and it was time to move on. So I ended up getting a new job at a winery, and to be honest, I hated it. I was proud that I actually managed to get in this winery because it is a very fancy place, and considering I'd only been in hospo for 2 years. But I think one of the reasons I didn't really like it was because when I left my first hospo job at the coffee club, I was looking for something in retail, and it was the only hospitality job I applied for, but it was also the only job I heard back from, and obviously I knew that I had a wedding to pay for, so I kind of just took the job because it was the first job that I got offered essentially, but it wasn't in the field I wanted to work in, so I think that's what started it off. Yeah, the job just wasn't for me, but I am really glad that I worked there and that I got the job there, because it definitely taught me a lot as well about what I value when I'm working. So then that brings me into my next achievement, and that is that I quit that job and got, I wouldn't say my dream job, but I got a job that I absolutely love in retail. So again, my next thing that I achieved will kind of tie into this. Wanted to move on from that job. It wasn't in the field that I liked. It wasn't very ethical. They didn't treat their staff very nice. I knew that I couldn't do it long term, and if hairdressing taught me anything, it is that it is not worth staying in a job that I don't like, even for the money. Like, I need to be in a job where I thrive and I love and I actually enjoy getting up and going to work every day. So the job that I have now, I absolutely love. It is such a great team. My company is very big on your mental health and your physical health, you as a person outside of work rather than just in work. And I work in a shoe store. I absolutely love it. I love anything to do with fashion, so I've just had so much fun. So I got this job in May that I'm currently in. So I quit my job at the end of April at the winery. So I was at the winery from February until April, and then the end of April I had like a week break, and then I got this other job. I plan to continue to be there for a while. That's how much I love it. And yeah, I really enjoy actually going to work, and the days always go by really quick, so I feel like that's a really really good side as well. I would say it's more of like a bougie kind of place to work. I obviously don't want to say where I work for privacy reasons, but it is more of a bougie kind of shoe store rather than number one shoes, for example. So then that follows on to my next achievement, which is that I moved to Auckland, and I moved to Auckland by myself. Now I'm from Hawke's Bay, which is a very small town. I think there's only like a couple 100,000 people that live in Hawke's Bay, I think. But in Auckland there's like 1.5 million people that live here. It is the biggest city in New Zealand. It is very spread out. So I moved here on my own, and like looking back at it, it was a very ballsy move. It was a very risky move to move up here on my own, because obviously the plan was for Phil and I to move together this coming year. Actually this 2022 year, this was gonna be the year that we moved up, but then I got offered the job. I actually got offered a job in Hawke's Bay as well in retail, but it was only 8 hours and I would have had to work 2 jobs. So I was kind of weighing up whether I go with that option, which was the more safe option, or if I take the risk and move. And I'm actually really glad that I took the risk and I've moved, because I've ended up getting more hours every week than what I'm technically contracted for, which obviously helps to pay for the wedding. And I've really grown a lot this year. There's kind of a few things that I've achieved that is to do with like me personally, like personal growth and stuff, but I'm just so happy I did it. I would not change it for the world. I don't want to go back to Hawke's Bay to live, and I think it'll be easier as well for Phil and I to get a flat together here, because obviously I already have a job here. The next thing that I kind of achieved in 2021 was that I became a Christian. So I've done like a whole story time on my faith journey as well, so if you guys missed that, then I'll leave that video down below and up in the eye as well. But essentially the first Saturday of January of 2021, Phil and I both became Christians. We became Christians on the same day, and it was just something that was kind of pressing away at us that we kind of wanted to do, and it has changed my life. This year has just been such an amazing year, and I've really seen how God has worked through me and how he's grown me, and like the amount of stuff we've been able to do this year because we've had him by our side is incredible. Like this whole wedding planning process, like I don't think I could be doing it as well as I am without God's help. It's just really been a life-changing thing, and I literally can't wait to grow more in 2022. So my next thing that I've achieved, again I've briefly touched on, but that is I have grown more independent this year, and I've been okay with doing more things on my own. So obviously I have had like a few months by myself up here in Auckland. So I had from May to August by myself, because in August we went into lockdown, and then we were in lockdown for August, September, October, and halfway through November, and then I've had the rest of November and December. So I've had about 4 or 5 months up here on my own, and I've definitely learned a lot about myself. And I was never one of those people that was kind of okay with going out and doing things on my own. Like a lot of the time in Hawke's Bay, when Phil would go to work, I would just be at home editing, or like I would have a friend over, or I'd go out with a friend somewhere. Like I never really did anything on my own. So this year has been, I'm gonna say, I always do this, I always say this year when I mean 2021, and this coming year when I mean 2022, but this past year I've definitely been okay with going out and doing things on my own. I've found I really enjoy op shopping on my own, and just going for like a browse on my own. I think even like when I get married, it will benefit both Phil and I if he is like working different hours to me and I want to go and do something. Obviously have a long way to go, and this is something that will continue year after year after year. The next thing that I achieved in 2021 is that I learned how to cook basic meals. So before 2021 I could not cook to save my life. Obviously me moving to Auckland on my own, I had to learn how to cook, and to be honest, when I first moved up here it wasn't great. I was making very basic meals where I could just chuck something in the air fryer and then chuck like a salad together. But lockdown really helped me to learn how to cook, so I'm really grateful for lockdown because of that, because I was locked down with Phil and Rachel, and both of them can cook. They kind of taught me a lot. So yeah, now I can like make basic meals on my own. I can't make anything like crazy fancy, but I am excited this year to experiment a little bit more with food and kind of grow too in like my learning of cooking. I have found when I cook I have to be watching something. I can't just stand there and wait for something to cook. Like I need to be watching Netflix, and I've actually found that something that gets me excited to cook is that like I know I can like start this TV show, or like I can binge something while I cook, and that kind of helps to like kill two birds with one stone, that like I can watch something but I can also like make dinner because I have to make dinner. And I know it's a skill that I'm gonna need when Phil and I have kids, which again isn't too far away now, and I know that it will really benefit Phil as well when we get married, because I do feel a little bit guilty that the last like 2.5 years when we were living together before that I made him cook every time. I do feel like that wasn't fair when he would work really long hours and then come home and I'd have to get him to cook dinner. So yeah, I feel like now I'm actually going to be able to help a little bit more, and it takes a lot of the pressure off him, which is good. Okay, and then the last few things I've achieved are all goals that I said in my last year's video that I wanted to achieve. So the first thing that I achieved that was one of my last year's goals was that I feel my saving has improved. So obviously this again is something that will continue year after year after year, but obviously I have had to save for a wedding throughout all of 2021, which has not been easy, I will tell you guys that much. And I do want to do a video this year after the wedding is all over on like budgeting and tips for budgeting and like how much we spent, because yeah, I was actually surprised at how much we've been able to buy for the wedding because we've prioritized our money. So yeah, obviously like our wedding hasn't happened yet, so I still have a little bit left to go on my savings. I am a person that really struggles to save. I was really good at it when I lived back home because obviously I didn't really have very many bills, so I would just have my rent that like I paid at home, which really wasn't a lot. It wasn't like market rent, so I would just save half of what I had left and spend the other half. But as an adult I can't do that because I obviously have like my rent here, which is not cheap. I have my groceries, I have my petrol, I have my insurance, life insurance, like I have so many different things that come out that it's really hard to like save at the end of the day if I want to be able to have money to go out and do stuff and not just put it all away. But it definitely hasn't been easy for me in the past, but this year I've definitely grown a lot financially, and I've actually learnt that I have enough stuff, and I kind of get annoyed when I buy stuff because I don't really have anywhere to put it. So I feel like I'm very conscious with what I buy. Definitely a big achievement that I kind of hope to carry on in 2022. The next thing I achieved again, which was a last year's goal, was that I have kept my car clean. Yeah, I was really good last year. I would clean out the rubbish in my car like at least once a month. Sometimes it would be every couple of weeks, and now I really enjoy just having a clean car with no like takeaway cups, no rubbish. And then it's good if like I have to go and pick up someone suddenly, then I have to worry about my car being a mess. The next thing I achieved was that I got 2 tattoos. So I got this one here on my arm, and then I got one on my ankle. This is gonna be kind of difficult to show you. I don't even know if you can see. Hold up. I got another one on my ankle. My goal was to get 3 tattoos in 2021, but obviously then we decided to push the wedding forward a year. So I feel like considering I got 2, that's pretty good. The next thing I achieved in 2021 was that I drove more on longer trips. So obviously I moved up to Auckland, so that means I have to drive back to Hawke's Bay like every couple of months or so to see the family and see Phil. But then I also drove us to Taranaki, or drove us back from Taranaki. I think I drove us to Palmy as well. And I really wanted to grow in my long distance driving because I haven't really done a lot of long distance driving before. Like I would drive a lot, but nothing that was like over an hour, whereas now I feel more confident kind of going like from Auckland to Hawke's Bay, which is like a 6-hour drive. So I've definitely grown in my driving. Even up here in Auckland, like I've learned to kind of navigate. And then the last thing that I achieved in 2021 was that I planned most of the wedding. Well, I say I planned, but in reality it was Phil and I that have planned most of the wedding. Every wedding decision we have made, Phil and I have both agreed on it, we've both signed off on it. There's just a few more things for the reception that we've got to organise. The countdown is definitely on. I've had so much fun. It has been a little bit stressful at times, but I actually, have really enjoyed going on this process. I've enjoyed this journey, and I've really enjoyed being able to bring you guys along as well. Alrighty, so now we move on to my goals for 2022. So obviously I will start with the big one, and that is that I plan to get married. We're so close now and I'm so excited. I literally can't wait, and I know it's going to be one of the bigger things that happens this year that I am really looking forward to. I know Phil's really looking forward to it as well. We kind of need that next step in our relationship because we've been engaged for just over 2 years now, so I feel like, yeah, both Phil and I were talking last night and we both feel like we need that kind of next thing in the relationship. Super exciting. I still have a lot to learn about what it means to be a wife. The next goal I have obviously is kind of to do with that, and that is to go on my honeymoon. So Phil and I have an idea of what we want to do for the honeymoon, but at the moment we're kind of playing everything by ear because we don't know what's going to happen, especially with this new variant of COVID and the whole traffic light system that's in place in New Zealand. So yeah, we're kind of playing it by ear, but we definitely want to go on some sort of honeymoon this year. The next goal I have for 2022 is obviously to move in with Phil. So this is one of the things that, apart from the wedding, I'm looking forward to the most, because I do think it will be different to how it was before. I'm hoping we'll have a slightly bigger place. We are planning on renting still. We are nowhere near buying just yet, so yeah, hopefully that will be something in the next few years that we can do. But yeah, and we are looking at staying in Auckland, so that'll be super exciting. I can't wait to like redecorate everything and restyle everything. I do plan to bring you guys along on that whole moving process, so that'll be something that's really exciting this year, and I think it'll just be nice for us to kind of not get back to how things were, but just kind of come together again as people that have had a little bit more time to grow. Because if you guys don't know as well, Phil and I have been doing long distance since May. The next goal I have for 2022 is very dependent on where we move to, but Phil and I would love to get a dog. Like, I really want to get a pet. Like, at my parents' place they have 2 cats and a dog, and I love playing with them every time I go over. So it would be really cool if Phil and I could get a dog. If our place that we move to allows pets, then that will be something that we do quite quickly, I think. And then I think it'll just be fun for Phil and I to have like something together that we can care for, and then again it will be nice to kind of keep me company when Phil goes to work, or when I go to work to keep Phil company. Fingers crossed we can get a dog. But again, I will bring you guys along on that journey if we are able to get a dog. My next goal is a very personal one, and that is to deepen my relationship with God and to get baptized. So I've thought about baptism a little bit more. Phil got baptized a few months ago now. I'll leave the video where Phil gets baptized down below. It's not on my channel, but it's on our church from back home's channel, so if you want to see Phil get baptized, I'll leave that video down below, because it really like hit me hard. And Phil really inspires me with faith as well, because he is so passionate about it and he always talks about it, and you can see like how much love he has for God. And I definitely want to grow in my relationship with God. I've definitely grown a lot, obviously moving up to Auckland, because I've definitely relied on him every day to get me through the day and to help us get through all this wedding planning and stuff without being stressed about the world and the situation that we're in. But yeah, I really want to deepen that relationship this year. I feel like last year was very like basic and borderline, because obviously I only became a Christian last year. Yeah, I'm really excited to be able to get to know God a little bit more this year. And something I do want to like implement with that is I really want to set some sort of routine for quiet time, and it would be good as well to keep God at the center of our marriage. My next goal that I have is to get back into dance. So I found a dance class obviously in Hawke's Bay that I absolutely loved, and I was really sad that when I moved, one of the things I wouldn't be able to do was go to that dance class, because yeah, I really enjoyed the dances, I enjoyed the teacher, she was really good. And I haven't been to dance this whole year, obviously, because we were literally about to start back up when I got offered this job up in Auckland, and then obviously I have wanted to put all of my extra money that I have into the wedding, so I haven't been paying for dance classes, but I really miss it. So I did some research when I first got here of dance classes, and there are so many up here. So I definitely, after we get married, want to get back into dance, back into hip-hop, because it's a really nice way for me to exercise as well. It's a way that I enjoy. My next goal that I have, it's kind of a business idea that I have, and I want to try and see how it goes. That is to start a thrifting, selling Instagram account. I have always felt very on the fence whether I agree with this idea or whether I don't. I think what I don't like is when people buy something for like $2 and then mark it up to like $60-$70 for someone else to buy it, because I just don't think that's right. And I know that personally when I donate things, I want them to be bought by someone who then wants to give it a second life, essentially, not just someone who's going to sell it to make a profit. But I asked on my Instagram story whether people would be keen for me to do this, because if you guys haven't been on my channel before and you don't know, I love thrifting and I've been doing it for half my life pretty much, so I feel like I'm quite good at it. I've been able to find most brands under the sun, and a lot of the time I see something and I personally don't need it, but it is a very good find and I would love to be able to give that to someone else. I've done this a little bit with Rachel and I have had so much fun, so I really want to kind of be able to give back a little bit and share my love of thrifting with you guys. Kind of thought of buying something and not marking up the price a lot. Obviously I would like to make a tiny bit of profit and I would like to be able to donate some to my church as well, but that's kind of a business idea I've thought about starting. So yeah, let me know down below in the comments whether you guys would support me in that business or not. I would only ship to New Zealand though, I'm afraid. My next goal that I have is that I want to start serving at church. So church at the moment for me up here in Auckland isn't back fully in person. We're kind of just meeting at people's houses and watching the church live stream, but I'm hoping this year that we will be able to get back to church in person. And if we do, I would love to serve in the kids ministry. I love children, I always have, and I would love to kind of serve in like primary school or the preschool section of church, and I just think it would be a really nice way for me to grow, and God does call us to serve in church. The next thing that I have on my 2022 goals list is to go for my full license. Now I believe I had this in my last year's New Year's resolutions, but to be honest I kind of forgot about it, and then obviously I was prioritizing my savings for the wedding, and going for your full license does cost quite a bit. But yeah, I really want to try and smash that out this year before Phil and I have kids, and I think I probably could go for my full in Auckland, because I know for your full all you have to do is identify hazards, and I feel like Auckland is the perfect place to be for that because there are so many things that could go wrong. But definitely it won't be the first half of this year, it will probably be the second half of the year after Phil and I's wedding. Next goal I have for this year is to change up my hair. So I did want to do a colour last year, but obviously then we pushed the wedding forward, so I cancelled that colour appointment that I had booked, but I want to do something drastic. I don't know if I want to say what I want to do yet, but I want to cut my hair. I'm growing my hair long at the moment because I want it long for the wedding. I really want to cut it a lot shorter because hair this length is very heavy, it's really annoying, and it gets really hot in summer. Yeah, I haven't coloured my hair since I was in hairdressing, so it's been a while, and I'm kind of bored of brunette. I've been brunette pretty much my whole life. I want to do something different, and I will bring you guys along on that process. The next goal I have, so I want to get into regular yoga at home. So I started doing some yoga in lockdown and I actually really enjoyed it. I really struggle with stress and like managing stress, so I think getting into yoga would be really good for my physical and my mental health. I don't really want to join a class to start with because I kind of want to take things at my own pace. I'm not very flexible, so I would like to just kind of chill, take it easy. And then the last goal that I have for 2022 is that I want to get a big tattoo piece. So I kind of have two ideas of what I want to get. One of the big pieces I want to get is a camera. I don't know whether I want to get it here on my wrist or whether I want to get it on my thigh, I'm not sure. But the piece that I am talking about in this particular goals is I want to get like a big kind of like floral piece on my hip. I really love the look of floral tattoos and I've always wanted some sort of like floral piece on my hip, but obviously tattoos cost a lot of money, so again that will be something that I do after Phil and I get married. Again, I might end up bringing you guys along for that journey, since it will be like a slightly bigger piece. I personally don't have any convictions towards tattoos. I don't believe they're biblically wrong. I know people kind of go either ends of the spectrum, so this is just my opinion. You can take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, I'm excited. I know there's going to be a lot of new kind of physical, not a lot of physical changes, but like a couple physical changes, a lot of like things I want to implement for my mental health, and then a lot of like big life changes. So yeah, that's everything I believe that I've written down. So a lot of very, very exciting things coming. There's going to be a lot of fun content. Again, I will do a separate like YouTube goals and achievements kind of video as well, that will go up in February for my like annual reflection on YouTube. If you want to kind of know what video ideas and stuff are kind of coming, then wait for that video, because that video will be up next month. Get excited. This year I am so excited for. I've got a good feeling about 2022. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Please make sure to turn on the notifications and check out my social media. It's always linked down below in the description box. Let me know some of your guys' goals for 2022 and some of the things you achieved in 2021. Obviously, it doesn't really matter if you didn't really achieve a lot in 2021. I feel like that year was still very all over the place. I'm also turning 24 this year, which feels very old. But yeah, I'm going to stop rambling and I'm going to go, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!